Tell you what, I had an idea the other day, and you know what I'm like with my ideas.
Yeah. Sporadic.
So let's say that the games are all played on YouTube, and you can either click the link, which is the commentators, like you've been doing loads recently, but then you can also go on another link where it's 2 kids that are commentating on the game. And
like the Haribo advert.
Yeah, like the Haribo advert, where, because obviously the like commentating as an adult, you might go into technical terms, but I think there'd be a really cool niche having 2 kids commentating on a game exactly how they see it. And whether then, you know, the younger generation are watching that and it's in the background whilst the parents are watching something else, or watching it being commentated by you know, 2 professionals that are very good at it.
I also think it gives you that rawness. So I think that's what I've really tried to do.
I'd listen to the kids.
Yeah, I've really tried to do with my commentary. I mean, it's literally just with Saris, like it's not exactly anything major, but I've tried to make it like raw and fun and also maybe criticize. I think sometimes we go away from that criticizing something that's wrong, or like we go, I don't know, like say if you've beaten someone 1v1, like, yeah, okay, your footwork's been like bang average, but actually
the tackle was
shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, and the commentator always goes, oh, like, I'm just using it as an example. Ellie Kildunne's footwear was like amazing. Like she really beat that defender. No, the defender just literally missed the tackle. Do you get what I mean? Like,
I agree. I think that there's a very fine balance that you've got to get there, because there's being honest and being raw with it, but then also I think, you know, rugby, if you look at it, rugby is always someone missing a tackle or something going wrong, which has led to someone biting in defence, which is creating the edge or whatever it is, deception. And I think when I look at comments on like highlights and stuff, and something that I find is no matter what highlight it is in the women's game, people are always saying it's shit defence rather than a good attack. And I think there's 2 parts to it always. The attack is trying to create deception so that someone's got a harder tackle to make, but then also sometimes there is just a poor tackle. So you need to get the balance right to highlight both sides of it. But I agree. I think, you know, you don't need to sit on the fence anymore. No, it's all right to highlight things. I mean, last night in training, this is not commentating, but we ran a move and everyone started.
What was it?
I'm not telling you, playing you this weekend, girl. Ran a move. Anyway, the final pass didn't go to hand.
Was it your pass?
Tip back in. I actually was going to catch it, but it was meant for someone else and I didn't realise.
So you messed up, yeah.
But everyone was like clapping and I was like, why are we clapping? We haven't done it right. Like we haven't completed it. And I guess that's us like setting standards and having high expectations on ourselves. But also I think that's the way that the game grows, is being like raw and being honest. And yes, applauding achievements and successes and making sure that that's shown as a highlight. But if there's a shit tackle, there's a shit tackle.
Yeah.
And
well, that goes, actually, it's like we've spoken to each other, but we haven't. But it's like Rob has like been in our brains that we know what to say next. But I spoke to Rob yesterday, like we always do. And so we're really jumping ahead here, but just go with me. I'm doing an Ellie. All right. So
segue.
On Thursday last week, it was my first, like, I wouldn't even say session back because I didn't do all of it, so we don't need to like
part way.
And so I was in the backs units, and obviously Saris didn't have a game this weekend, so we did like scrum wars, and there was like one team versus the other. The blue team were the starting team the week before, just to give context. And then the other team I was in, which, you know, had like some obviously decent players in. Anyway, the blue team went first and they ripped us apart. Like, we're doing the moves that we have, like in the locker. And it was 2, they got 2 out of the 3. My team go. We get into a huddle. I'm thinking, what is going on here? And then we do the first one. I'm playing 7 because obviously I'm not back and I just want other people to get involved. So I just played 7 on the scrum. 9 passes it to 12. 12 then kicks it back over the scrum, like a crossfield kick back to the winger. Yeah. Mess it up, ball goes down. Next one. Again, another crossfield kick, but more open. Gets tackled. So we're currently 0-2.
Yeah.
Next one, I can't actually remember. It was like a double miss.
Yeah.
Double miss pass. again, what goes wrong? So it's 0-3. So we didn't get any tries. Anyway, in this, Duncan Taylor, who is our backs coach, I said to him, I was like, what are we doing? Like, this isn't, I was frustrated because I needed to get something obviously out of it. And it didn't at the end of the day. And anyway, Duncan, I said, what? He was like, oh, it's about having fun. And like, you know, you can't always be serious all the time. And I was like, okay, but we're not winning the league. We're not nailing our scrum plays in every game. So actually, if our scrum plays are good, we will have fun doing them.
Yeah, fun in success, yeah.
Anyway, so then he brings, so long-winded, then brings everyone in and he goes, so what did the blue team do really well? And I was like, are you taking the piss? Like, are you And I went, well, they ran our moves. He went, yeah, they were really good, weren't they? And I was like, sorry, have you just like suddenly forgotten the whole conversation that we had about having fun, and now you're comparing my team to the blue team and why the blue team? And I said this, obviously maybe ranted to Rob a bit too much yesterday, but I basically said that I find it really hard when a coach or people want fun through silliness.
Yeah.
I think you get fun from success and from achieving things and from doing something to the best of your ability or the team's ability. So when we did that session, I came away from it and I thought, that was awful. Yeah. And that I was like, I don't want to come back if that's what it is, because I don't find that fun at all.
Yeah.
Because fun to me is breaking the line because the move and everyone's done their job to the best ability.
The deception, yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
So similar to yours, like clapping when it's like, well, we haven't achieved. So that's where I'm going back round full circle.
Yeah.
Is similar to yours. Everyone clapping, but it's like, well, we haven't achieved what we set out to do. So what are we applauding? So it's same with commentating.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like, oh, like really like, yeah, that's good. When actually like, no, that's not good. So
I think we're in a position where we're the top of our game and we're always going to be pushing for more. We're going to be, wanting. It's the same thing that we were saying about the viewership. This all kind of links together, that you're always going to seek perfection.
Yes.
And look, hands up, I've got it wrong sometimes. You've been in camp with me where I've been in a right stinking mood on the pitch. People get it at Quinn's all the time because I'm seeking perfection and I'm pushing people for more all the time.
It is really stinky though when you get in that mood.
It is stinky, it is stinky. And it's because I'm a fixer and I can't work out why it's going wrong. And I think going back to the point about balance, yes, there's having some form of enjoyment because you need to enjoy what you do, definitely. But also,
I think there's a time and a place.
There's a time and a place, yes. I just think that like you get that from success. We put so much time, work, effort, emotional energy into what we do because one, we're passionate about it, and two, because it matters.
Yeah.
And we're in a league that is semi-professional, and there's a quote, Hollers, our kicking coach. So Jess and I have got the same kicking coach at England, and he said a quote to me. It's not even a quote, something that he said to me the other week, because I've found the past few weeks relatively frustrating. And he said to me, stop chasing it and it'll come to you. So if you keep on chasing an outcome and you're really going after that outcome, you're probably going to get frustrated in the run up to the outcome.
Yeah, agreed.
And then you're not going to train at the best of your ability because you're in your head and you're thinking about X, Y, Z rather than A, B, C.
Yeah, 100%.
And the past couple of weeks, I've really been trying to coach my brain into thinking, stop chasing the outcome and just go with it, and something will come from it. So that's, it all kind of links that we are at the top of our game and we are hard on ourselves. I think it's easy to see that you might be in a sinking mood and someone thinks it's about them, but ultimately it's an internal battle that we're always trying to be the best, better than the last game, better than the last hour, better than the last minute. But it's because we are the professionals and we are trying to ultimately win a World Cup.
Yeah. Or win the next game, because that's ultimately what kind of I said to him. I was like, and again, no offense to Loughborough, but I was like, 2 weeks ago we lost to a team that we've never lost to.
Yeah.
So if you're telling me, let's just have fun and do scrums, okay, well, don't kind of come crying to me when we lose to Quinn's or to Ealing or to Exeter or to Sale.
It's just because it matters, and it doesn't mean that the rest of the team, it doesn't matter to them. I think people obviously show it in different ways.
And I think I'm in a different position because I haven't played week in, week out. I'm not tired.
Well, it matters to you.
Yeah, I'm not tired. I'm not maybe frustrated. Like, my purpose right now is to get back onto that pitch to play some sort of rugby. So I think I'm excited and I want to do the basics because actually, like, I enjoy the basics and I enjoy getting things right. So I do think that, like, I did step away from that session. I got in the car and I was like, I probably was a bit too harsh. But it's because I was obviously excited to be involved into that little bit that I was involved, and I didn't probably get what I wanted from it. But that was me being selfish when actually maybe the girls needed that. But then I did ask them and they said no, they didn't enjoy it. So
but then do you think that you had a certain expectation on what the outcome was going to be?
1,000%. Like, I thought I was going to get way more out of that session than I did, and that was me probably setting my expectations too high. And we can maybe move on to me, even though this is like way down the run sheet. But I thought I was going to be back this weekend. Yeah, like 100% hand on heart, thought I was going to be back this weekend. Like, it might be because I have some like history there, so like always obviously wanted to play, but I also thought like, oh, it won't be that long. And like even now, like, I got told that I'm still not going to be playing until like 4 weeks time, and excuse my language, feel free to bleep it out, but it's long. Like, it's been so long. And I think the more now people are like, oh, because I said to people I'd like to be back, or probably said, oh, I'm going to be back for the Quins game. So like the more this week people have been like, oh, you playing? And I'm like, no. And then they're like, oh, so you're playing Ealing? I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's tough.
So then I'm like, oh yeah, well, hopefully I'll be back for the Exeter game. And then we were in a meeting last night and they were like, we only have 4 games left of the Prem. And I went,
scary.
And like, I think Sophie Bridger was sitting next to me and she went, it's okay, you're okay. And I was like, holy shit. Yeah. Like, and I just thought, Jesus, if we lose all these 4 games, we might not make semi-finals. So I've only played potentially 2 games if I'm even going to be able to play those games. Yeah. And I just think it's crazy. So I think, my expectation from that session was way high, but because I'm like, well, I want to get back to where I was and where I want to be and an enjoyment level. I mean,
no, I hear you.